Hello and welcome to another edition of Trojan TV News. Today we're in beautiful Seattle, Washington, where there's plenty of culture to go around.
That's right. In today's show we're going to be talking about a heartwarming local business that's history stretches beyond the walls of Seattle. We're also going to be talking about some traditions at the Mariners games that even the locals might not know about.
We are also going to be talking about how long this beautiful weather is going to stay. I'm Anna Turnbull.
And I'm David Supis, and Trojan TV News starts right now. One hotspot for tourists in the city of Seattle is the Pikes Fish Market, which has actually been open since 1907.
There are many shops and stores in the Pike Place, so let's take a look behind the counter at one specific store that's been open since 1911.
In the bustling streets of Seattle, Pikes Market has been a staple piece to tourists in the downtown community. But one business in particular is more than just another fish market.
I grew up in Seattle, born and raised. And yeah, I either saw myself selling fish. Those are the family businesses. This is my family's shop.
While Bihar grew up on the Puget Coast, Pure Food Fish originates from different waters.
It started in 1911. My great-grandfather ran away from Turkey when there was a big war in Turkey, and he was, drafting young men to join the army. He didn't want to fight, and so he fled on a boat and landed in Seattle. And fish was a poor man's business at the time. Started selling fish right across the street, and been here ever since.
For 108 years, the Bihars have continued to learn and grow in the competitive seafood environment and have continued to meet the ever-growing needs of the Seattle community. But their goals are beyond Pikes Market.
I'd like to see it grow into multiple locations. Right now, this has been our only location for the last 100 years. And going forward in the future, I'd like to maybe get another store, maybe somewhere out in the Midwest. Not a lot of access to fresh seafood out there, and I'd like to bring it somewhere else where they can't get it.
Combining the love and care of a family-owned business is what's revolutionized Seattle's Pure Food Fish Market and hopefully the Midwest next. I'm Salome Immer alongside Cole Jones and Sumin Kwan, reporting for Student Television Network in Seattle, Washington.
Thanks, guys. Pike Place is a proud staple of Seattle.
Another staple of Seattle is the Mariners, but even some of the locals may not know all of the ballpark's traditions. Let's take it to Jared and Easton for opening day.
Thanks, Davis. When it comes to tradition, loyalty and hard work play a major role, but sometimes it's always nice to add a new addition.
Everybody loves Mariners. They've been here for a long time, and you got to have baseball in the city.
With a new name for the stadium, the fans are more excited than ever before.
The stadium's great. It's the sun hits it. The sunsets are great. Great ballpark. Can't go wrong here. Baseball, America's pastime.
With the addition of T-Mobile in their dugout comes new hope, and these Mariners fans are optimistic to take it all the way.
No, I just hope with the young prospects that they have, I hope it all works out and we make it to the playoffs this year. That'll be nice for everybody.
I want to see them go all the way. It's our year. It's our season. Go M's.
With new additions and old traditions, the Seattle Mariners are like none other as they get set for their game against the Red Sox at 4 p.m. today. Reporting for Student Television Network, I'm Jared Reyes. Now let's take it back to the desk.
Let's see just how long this beautiful weather is going to last and take it to Jack Austin with your weather forecast.
Thanks, Davis. We all know that the weather in Kansas City is very inconsistent, but here in Seattle it's known for its clouds and especially rain, and that's because the water in the Pacific Ocean, and more specifically Elliott Bay here downtown, evaporates, and as it moves through out the atmosphere, it cool, it's creating clouds, and that's where the rain comes from. About actually 37 inches of precipitation a year in the forms of rain and snow. But luckily, none of that here today. It is beautiful, 52 degrees outside, and some slight winds dropping that temperature down to about 47 degrees. And it's going to stay beautiful throughout the convention with the change of one minor day, but nothing too big. As we can see tomorrow, it's a little bit cloudy, but look at Saturday, so beautiful, 64 degrees, sunny outside, beautiful day for projects, and especially here at this STN convention. As we close it out on Sunday, a slight chance of precipitation, about 30% chance, but I expect that to grow a little bit as we get closer and closer to that day, but nothing that'll hurt anybody's projects, that's for sure. That's all I have for you here today, and we'll send it back to Davis and Anna.
Thanks, Jack. Seattle's weather may not be experiencing a bunch of changes right now, but their minimum wage is.
With a $1.50 increase in the past 2 years, let's take it to Soonjen to see how this increase is affecting local workers.
The state of Washington has been increasing minimum wage over the past few years to achieve $15 an hour by the year 2020. Beside me, I have Ariana, who is a beverage coordinator for Argosy. Do you think the increase in minimum wage will help make city living more affordable?
I think it will eventually, but I think it'll take time for prices for things to kind of even out with the minimum wage and for those wages to come back into the economy.
Definitely. So for minimum wage the increase in minimum wage to even happen, I mean, the economy rises up and it all just comes right back to us. But do you think that's for the better or for the bad?
I think it's kind of a mixture of both. I think the most immediate things that we see are things in restaurants and those kinds of prices and wages going up for that. But I think as far as living costs and rent goes, I think that'll take a longer time to adjust. So it's kind of both, I guess, good and bad.
You can't have the good without the bad, and that's all we have. Let's send it back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Being self-employed as a street performer means that minimum wage isn't guaranteed.
But it is a popular lifestyle within Seattle. Let's take it to Jordan and Ethan on music's influence on the city.
Pikes Fish Market, located in Seattle, is where locals purchase freshly caught fish from the nearby shores. However, the taste isn't all the customers are getting. They also get some tasty tunes.
Taking hold of the world. Seattle is turning into a little melting pot. People are really changing in Seattle. People are more getting together. I think Seattle is beautiful. Seattle is getting better, I think.
Music in Seattle has played a fundamental role in shifting the culture and steering individuals down the right path.
Oh, the wild stormy. I have changed my lifestyle. I don't do drugs or drink or nothing like that. All I do is try to praise the Lord.
Street music will continue to play a huge role on Seattle's culture now and where it heads in the future. From Student Television Network and from Park Hill High School in Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Ethan Simon, along with Jordan Austin.
Thank you, Jordan and Ethan. The city of Seattle is constantly changing, but with the history and the culture that you get here, it's pretty easy to see why the locals love it so much.
Signing off for Trojan TV News here in Seattle, I'm Anna Turnbull.
And I'm David Supis. See you next time, Trojans.